and Greg Anthony. This their first for them, going 1-3 in the season series.
And this, the first of 3 games.
Team can tip it off with a win.
Now let's take a look at the Bulls' opening lineup.
Move the ball.
Gibson is the 4 with Gasol at the 5. Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. And it's McDermott in at the small forward. It's incredible to think that Pau Gasol last year set a career high in points in a game for as long, Clark, as he's played. He had that 46-point game in January.
Yeah, that's 46 points for Pau to go with 18 rebounds. I mean,
right.
You rarely see a player of his age putting up a career high like that.
The Nets on offense. Official NBA playing time. We're going to check out our first glimpse of professional basketball from Freak.
Yeah, and whether he has friends and family in the crowd tonight or watching at home, I know a lot of people are proud of this young man. He's worked so hard to achieve this goal.
Yeah, and the future's bright for him, Greg. Not just tonight and not just this season, but for years to come.
And emerging as a superstar, tremendous Butler about the challenge of trying to contain him.
My team, we're all guarding them as a whole. We're all guarding everybody as a whole. It's 5-man offense.
But naturally, for a player like Jimmy Butler, who loves defense, plays terrific defense, you know, it's always going to be his priority, Greg, and focus. But Freak is a tough assignment, no matter who the defender is.
He sure is. I mean, you know, like Butler said, the first step is to not be intimidated. And it sounds like they've got that part down, at least.
Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And from Brooklyn, guys, what jumps out to you stat-wise?
Just the way they've been able to pound that backboard. I think that's been the difference.
Establishment of a good low-post presence, a big part of the success.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter to play. So for Chicago right now, Gibson is the 4 with Gasol at the 5. Ejuan Moore is out there with Rose. And it's McDermott in at the 3. For Brooklyn, they have gone a perfect 7 of 7 from the line tonight.
And as a group, they shot 75% from the line last season.
Nets were the hottest team and story a few years back, certainly. But last season, they were put up for sale, surprisingly to some, Clark, midway through the year.
Yeah, that was odd timing given the new arena and rebranding. I mean, you would think after all that effort to rebuild the team, you would see it through.
And there's the foul. It goes on Taj Gibson. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, that's a tough call right there, and really a tough break for the D.
Greg, no problem for me with that call. I mean, he was still sliding right there.
Second quarter of basketball, about 1 minute played so far. Here's Sims. 6 points for him. Kicks to Freak. 6 to shoot. Will not go. This is off the front iron.
And for the Nets being put up for sale, a big part of it was they were a team that was supposed to compete for titles. And since the move to Brooklyn, they have had trouble going deep in the playoffs.
Moore outside. Goes back up. Pass to Gibson. The 10-footer. That's good.
Assist goes to Ejuan Moore.
Nets leading by 8.
And you know, with Brooklyn, I don't think anybody wants to take over a team in a rebuild mode. I mean, that's what the Nets seem to be looking at for the next few seasons. They had their shot, went all in with some of their decisions, unfortunately came up short.
And the first one at the line is good. A dominating...
Hey guys, Great execution in the first half, but we still have a few things to talk about before we go back out there. With our defense, we have torn them up. I'm not sure they're going to come out for the second half. When we play D with this much grit, it is no fun to take us on.
Well, we're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third. And so it's Brooklyn with the win. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
Well, you know, it makes a big difference. I mean, you never felt like they had any doubts that they'd come out on top.
And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. And Ernie Johnson is still in the building, folks.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Many thanks, Kevin. And now a chance to check out some of the tremendous play tonight from our Jordan player of the game.
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the charts. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here and there, but he was on fire.
I love the contribution he gave with his long-range shooting tonight. He was on fire. That turned out to be the big key for them. If someone drove the lane and the defense collapsed, they would always kick it to him for another three. Splaka Katayow!
And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the rest of the 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. Good night, everybody.
And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Ludacris going in on the verse, cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere, what they saying, Luda's back. Blame it on that, the hood call it Ludic. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down, like go. My verses still be serving, tight like a million. This last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version. Can't never count me out, y'all better count me in. Got 20 bank accounts, accountants count me in. Make millions every year, the South's champion. Cause all I do, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Swerving in my low, head on a swivel, you know serving me's a no-no. Clean as a whistle as I pull out in my Rolls Royce. Yellow bone passenger, they see it, they say, oh boy. Tell Kelly back it up, call me loco. Down for, don't make me pull out. Ask you what you laughing at, represent that mud life. Dirty money, you better get your mud right. We come together holding hands and holler mud life. We all in all black, it's like life. You riding or what? Cause we riding tonight. Now you riding with me cause you wasn't.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Heat in the kitchen, hot on the stove, water getting boiled. Being sold, Snoopy in the hookie, system overload. I've been running this rap game since I was 20 years old. I hung with the worst of them, bust till I burst them up, floss them up, toss them up, harder work, close them up. Pardon me, I'm bossing up, brace you up, bless you, bro, don't mess with us. We like the youth in the 80s, back to back, set a track, hit the lick, get it back, get the trick, jump the track. I want my money back, time and time again, while I'm sipping on this. David said it best, just win, baby, win.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the field, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Yeah. Yeah. Ay. Yeah. Boys. Yeah. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We making noise. Hold on. We them boys. We making noise, hold up. We them boys. Hold up. Let's get on right now, though. Smell that on me, they gon' follow. Like she won a lotto. Really must be serious. Hold up. Scared of heights, come face your fears. Hold up. Do it just like Nikki, gone and it over. Say she roll with me, she tired of being alone. Young, but you know I'm ready. Oh, foreign girls call me. But I'ma get back to the point. Baby, hold up. We them boys. We them boys. Hold up. We making noise. Hold up. We them boys. We them boys. We making noise. We them boys.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Hold up. You drive me crazy. Number one, girl, you can't replace me. Lead a club, these bras be trying to chase me. Come roll with me in my Mercedes. Hold up. I see they broke, I see they lazy.
We got Kevin Durant up next. And you know he'll come to play. I love his versatility, but that makes shutting them down next to impossible. Coach gave us a full breakdown of what to expect. We watched plenty of film. But sometimes you just gotta throw all that out the window and settle things on the court. And I'm ready. Bring it, KD.
It's an interconference contest here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The Thunder play one at home. Sit back and enjoy this presentation of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark This is the first game in the Nets road trip. They're still looking to settle into the new season, working on improving their record.
Certainly not considered to be world beaters, but they certainly are better than what they've shown thus far. I mean, it'll be interesting to keep an eye on them the rest of the season because they've got the potential to make some improvement.
You know, they could be a sleeper. I mean, they've got their work cut out for them, especially after the disappointing start. But they're no pushovers. They may fly under the radar and surprise a few. Let's see how it plays out.
Here are the starters for Brooklyn. We've got Bogdanovich. Wayne Ellington is out there with Jarrett Jack. Then it's Young, and it's Lopez in at the center.
You know, and Billy Donovan, the Oklahoma City Thunder, were able to pull him away from the college game last season, signed him to a 5-year deal in the middle of last year's playoffs.
And so it's the Thunder getting on the board first, and that one's good. Now here's Westbrook.
Sergey Karasov.
About 3 minutes played so far in this second quarter. Durant the 3 and Ibaka the 4. Russell Westbrook out there with Andre Robertson. And it's Cantor in at the 5. That's the lineup in the game for Oklahoma City. Now here's Ellington. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Shot clock at 2. Can't tie it up as that one's no good. Last game for Brooklyn, it was a loss to the Boston Celtics.
And in that game, guys, their three-point shooting really was their own worst enemy. Even when they got the open looks, they just had an inability to knock them down.
And guys, you've seen it happen to every team. You have to be a threat from beyond the arc nowadays, and if your team goes cold, it really can sabotage your game.
And look at how the hustle game has been going for the Thunder.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
Catching up on the changes for Oklahoma City. Collison comes in for Serge Ibaka. And it's Payne in for Andre Robertson. And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. And Bogdanovich kicks to Sims. At the elbow, it's Freak. Sims dishes to Freak. And Westbrook pulls it down. Westbrook's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Collison up top. They set the screen. Durant for 3. That's good. And now it's a 9-point Thunder lead.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you got to do a better job of fighting over and through that. He still is fairly thin, even after 8 years in the league. Yet, up until last season, he's been one of the more in that regard.
Now here's Durant. They lead by their biggest margin of the game, 9. Some nice passing by Oklahoma here. Westbrook as he lets it go. The basket good off the assist from Durant.
And really, it looks like he may just try to take this thing over on his own and really build that lead up.
Talking about Durant's physical makeup, some scouts were actually worried about his athleticism when he declared for the draft after just 1 year at Texas. At the NBA Combine, Greg, you were talking about this. He posted some of the worst numbers of all the top prospects.
He did, but I tell you what, he did blow people away with his length. 6'10" with a 7'5" arm span. I mean, that makes up for a whole lot in this league.
All right, man.
And as we've seen throughout his Hall of Fame career, I think it's worked out pretty nice.
I think it has too. He made the only free throw attempt he had earlier in the game.
Gotta admire what he's been able to do at the free throw line this season. How about over 90%?
And, guys, I think that's a tribute to his work ethic. I mean, it's not by accident that he's enjoying the success he is at the free throw line.